consciousness having an experience through a biological computer called the body mind, which allows us to experience a certain range of frequencies that we call the physical world. Now, the stadium in which these people are running their control system is body mind, and it has a frequency range. Once you open your mind to consciousness, I mean, what the Christians would call the soul, and many other different religions and beliefs call it different things. Once you do that, that power starts to come through the body mind computer. The control system can't deal with that because it's not in its field of frequency to deal with it. It doesn't have the power to deal with it. When we have an intuitive feeling, it's a knowing. It's a knowing. You don't have to work it out or explain it. You just know. Why? Because that's coming from that which is beyond this manipulated reality, and that can take you through the maze in the world that's been created for us that the intellect has got no chance of doing. And that's the way home. That for me, this intuitive knowing, by the way, this is what the system's terrified of. Knowledge is never negative. Knowledge always empowers, no matter what knowledge it is, because it's giving you a greater fix on the situation we're facing. I tell you what's negative: ignorance. Ignorance is negative. That's how we got into this situation. You know, we look out in this tiny frequency range we call visible light, which is barely existing, and we think that everything we see in the human form on Earth is the only one that exists, and it's the only reality. There are multiple infinite realities. We are not our names. We are not our job. We are not our race. We are consciousness having those experiences. And when you remember that, then this incredible power comes into your life, which is just the greater you expressing itself because you've opened your mind and let it in. And then what we call miracles become possible, including what many people would see as a miracle currently, which is bringing this control system down. But it will come down. It will come down. Consciousness will bring it down because it is built on mind. And consciousness and mind are like the sumo wrestler and the two-stone weakling. This is what we need to do. We've got to start running at them, running at the system, ceasing to cooperate with it, ceasing to be intimidated by it, and we'll be amazed. You know the power that this system has over humanity? It's persuading humanity. He has power over them. It's a mind trick, a mind game. And when you run at these people, you realize actually it is just a figment of people's imagination. The power is not there. They just want us to believe it because then we'll acquiesce to them.
January 22nd, 2015, Eric Schmidt, chairman of the world's change agent, Google, told the elite crowd at Davos that the internet would soon disappear.
The internet there'll be so many IP addresses because of IPv6, so many devices, sensors, things that you're wearing, things that you're interacting with, that you won't even sense it. It'll be part of your presence all the time. It'll be part of your presence all the time.
If we're all online, all connected, all the time, 24/7, what does reality really mean anymore?
We are living in a computer-programmed reality, and the only clue we have to it is when some variable is changed and some alteration in our reality occurs.
We're in a phase where our lives more and more are beginning to take place in a virtual reality.
Our lives are more and more being carried out through virtual communication, through trendy technological gadgetry and social media platforms that now seem like we couldn't live without them when they didn't even exist just a few years ago.
It's a part of the way that I communicate with my friends.
Many of us now have more friends online than we talk to in real life. The attraction of common interests creates circles of online peers that for some become more important than the real people in our communities and our physical surroundings.
Our lives are being turned into an endless string of data to be tracked, traced, collected, and analyzed without ever looking the person doing it in the eyes.
Who controls this virtual world? Who owns it? Are we our own selves? Are we free? Are we making decisions, or are our gadgets deciding our lives for us?
People are out of there now.
Then what's in there? I've been to Beirut.
Yeah? I bet they miss you there.
And what's more interesting is the producers, the magicians, you might say, who understand a full grasp of what is to be conveyed to the audience, what messages must be imprinted in them, in their minds. And he knows the techniques and how to do this perfectly. A perfect science. So Hollywood, this amazing industry, Hollywood is called the Holy Wood. The Holy Wood, of course, is a staff of the Magi, of the Magus, the Grand Magus in the occult. He waves a wand, and everything is altered, changed. He casts a spell. And it's portrayed even in the cartoons with Mickey Mouse with his little wand. He's dressed like the wizard. And little stars, 5-pointed stars, come from the wand. And in the ancient Middle Eastern legends, all the holy men there had their staff. We even find it in the Old Testament as Moses has the little contest with the Pharaoh's Magi, and they play it changing sticks into snakes and back again, which is a good trick. But the trick of conducting a spell over the audience is by using a staff, the holy wood. Some movies will show you the understanding within Hollywood, at least in the director's part. Many of the actors don't even understand it themselves, but the directors and producers certainly do. And some of the bigger ones are given information and they're advised on how to get it across to the public. It's not that they have geniuses within Hollywood, per se. It's because their job is to program us as we go into the future, always. There are books out on Hollywood's involvement with making war movies. They churned out I don't know how many war movies in World War II. And they had the full cooperation of the American military and the use of all squadrons of tanks and ships and everything to make it very, very realistic, to get the recruitment going to fight the Nazis and then the Japanese. Tremendous part of propaganda, and it's never stopped. And even today, the Pentagon admits they have funded some of the bigger movies to do with war and Jarhead and all this kind of nonsense to get the young guys in, recruits. The movie industry is there to indoctrinate you into possibilities which you swallow as possibilities, and then they actually come out in reality. This technique has been used very effectively since the BBC, in fact, first started up as a radio station for World War I, and they used plays and dramas in serial form so that you could tune in every day to get the next part of the exciting story, and it always made sure that it was a cliffhanger at the end of the hour, and then sure enough everyone tuned in the next day at the right time to get the next part of the story. But in amongst the drama, they were getting propaganda to do with World War I and why the young guys should join up and how much they'd be respected by the women and they'd be heroes. And this is how the technique is used upon the young people's minds. That's why they don't use older guys in the military, except for generals and so on. Young guys think they're immortal. They want, because the tribal instinct within them, they want to be a hero. They want to stand out and save the tribe. That's what sports are portraying too. That which you see in a movie form becomes acceptable subconsciously, so that when it comes in reality, you don't react to it. You're familiarized with the idea. And in the movie, of course, it's always presented as a necessity. And in other words, all the bugs have been ironed out subconsciously in your mind for you. It's been downloaded into you, the whole idea, and why it's done. So this is Hollywood.
We all must try to understand what is happening. We need to try to understand what is happening. And in my humble opinion, ideology is only going to get in your way. Nobody understands what is happening. Not Buddhists, not Christians, not government scientists, not, no one understands what is happening. So forget ideologies. They betray, they limit, they lead astray. Just deal with the raw data and trust yourself. Nobody is smarter than you are. And what if they are? What good is their understanding doing you? People who walk around saying, well, I don't understand quantum physics, but somewhere somebody understands it. That's not a very helpful attitude toward preserving the insights of quantum physics. Inform yourself. What does inform yourself mean? It means A, transcend and mistrust ideology. Go for direct experience. What do you think when you face the waterfall? What do you think when you have sex? What do you think when you take psilocybin? Everything else is unconfirmable rumor, useless, probably lies. So liberate yourself from the illusion of culture. Take responsibility for what you think and what you do.
This question, is there cause for optimism? The answer is it depends on where you placed your bets. If you placed your bets on male-dominated institutions based on consumer fetishism, propaganda, classism, and materialism, then God help you, you should call your broker. If, on the other hand, you've recognized that what is really important is empowering personal experience, backing off from consumer object fetishism, freeing the mind, empowering the imagination, then in that case, I think you can feel pretty good about what is going on. Catalysts to say what has never been said, to see what has never been seen, to draw, paint, sing, sculpt, dance, and act what has never before been done, to push the envelope of creativity and language. And what's really important is, I call it the felt presence of direct experience, which is a fancy term which just simply means we have to stop consuming our culture. We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR. Create your own roadshow. The nexus of space and time where you are now is the most immediate sector of your universe. And if you're worrying about Michael Jackson or Bill Clinton or somebody else, then you are disempowered. You're giving it all away to icons. Icons which are maintained by an electronic media, so that you want to dress like X or have lips like Y or something. This is shit-brained, this kind of thinking. That is all cultural diversion. And what is real is you and your friends and your associations, your highs, your orgasms, your hopes, your plans, your fears. And we're told, no, we're unimportant, we're peripheral, get a degree, get a job, get a this, get a that, and then you're a player. You don't even want to play in that game. You want to reclaim your mind and get it out of the hands of the cultural engineers who want to turn you into a half-baked moron consuming all this trash that's being manufactured out of the bones of a dying world. Where is that?